Destination Fun from AEG. I'm Matthew Soto. I do board game demos here not every Monday night, but I'm here every Monday night to play board games, and I also run a demo at least once a month. I tend to demo most things in the lighter to medium difficulty complexity, but I got into board games thanks to the store owner Eric and one of the old demoers, Kyle. So what I have here is the 3-in-1 expansion pack for all three games in the Destination Fun series. Trains, released in 2012, is a game where you're building a train network, but with a twist. You're going to hear that word a lot. It's a deck builder, much in the vein of Dominion, not like an 18xx game or like Ticket to Ride. That game comes from Japan by Hisashi, who also designed the game for Kazu brand. After the game took off in the States, the AEG immediately tapped another designer for the follow-up game, Rising Sun, which adds three new boards and some more random cards to add to your game, as well as giving you enough components to start playing the game, including if you never bought the original game. Then in 2014 came Planes by David Short, who came up with the idea, actually on a flight. So, and Planes is not anything like Trains, where you're a train company owner and you're trying to network. And Planes, you're actually a family trying to get onto their airplane. But it has a man club mechanic to it. And also, it's not just straight man club, there's also some card play where you can play cards to enable special moves, as well as you can score cards at the end of the game. Or you can play cards to score at the end of the game to try to judge your opponents and having the best TSA experience, I'll just say. Finally, in 2015 comes Automobiles. Automobiles is a racing game with bag building. Yeah, it plays very much like Orleans by TMG. Automobiles is designed also by David Short, and he planned on wanting to make it kind of like a road trip theme, but he decided to change it into a racing theme. And in that game, you try to win the race, but since it's turn-based, they kind of handle end of race differently than other racing games, in that you still have a chance to win if you manage to finish the race and go faster than your opponent. Your turn order actually doesn't play into if you win the game or not. So those are all three games in a nutshell. I've only played Trains and Planes, Trains Rising Sun, and Automobiles I want to play, but I just haven't been able to find a copy yet.
I have like all these extra sleeves.
So we'll go ahead and pop this big boy open. Just to quickly show, this box is as thick as the Trains box, but it's about the size of a Ticket to. Otherwise, the square is about the size of a Ticket to Ride box.
How heavy is it, Matt?
It's very heavy, but that's because there's 3 expansions worth of content in this game, mainly because there are 3 boards and a bunch of cards. Not so much cardboard, as there's only like 1 or 2 punch boards.
What's the retail for that one?
Destination Fun as a pack runs for $80. However, you can buy all 3 packs separately, but expect to pay anywhere from $35 to up to $45 per pack. The cheapest expansion goes to Planes because it was the cheaper game out of the 3. Planes retailed at $40, whereas Trains and Automobiles retailed for $60. Trains, of course, it costs the most because it has over 320 cards in it. So, yep, thank you. There'll be Eric, the store owner, helping me out with this unboxing. So, let's get this off. Oh, and right away, what we see is the rule books for the games, and it shows each. There's one rule book for each of the 3 expansions. Which I was hoping for because it felt like they wanted to go for putting all these back into the box. However, the round trip expansion for planes is actually bigger than the planes box. So that's to keep in mind if you get the Destination Fun Pack. So here's the planes round trip expansion rulebook. Pretty thick one at that. 12 pages. Here's the Automobiles Racing Season rulebook, which is also 12 pages. I'm just sticking these off to the side. And here's the thinnest rulebook for the most expensive expansion out in the pack is only 4 pages. And here's here's the first punch board. Oh, here's the train's route marker. They actually put as you saw, they actually put the route markers in their own little punch board, and from the Rising Sun punch board. So you might want to keep an eye out for if you see a big block missing on your first punch board. Then here's all the chipboard planes that comes in the expansion. Looks like we get 8 new ones. Well, I should probably go over it game by game in a bit, so we'll just stick that there. Then here's the first expansion board for trains. The next is for
some of the cards that aren't filler.
wow, this one's actually a big board. Yeah, this is going to take a lot. The planes board, the original planes board is much smaller than this one, so you might want to keep an eye out for that too. Finally, here's the automobiles board. I do not have a frame of reference of how big this is compared to the original automobiles board, but probably about the size of the new planes board. And here's all the cards for. Here's all the card packs for each of the. For each of the games. I'll actually put this box off to the side and pull them out like this. So you'll be getting 8 packs of cards and 1 pack of dividers. The dividers are for trains, if you kept the original box. And just to give a rough bit. Okay, good. Here's all the trains. Oh, here's all the trains card packs here. Here's the planes card pack right here, and here's the Armo card pack right here. And finally, there is a score pad for the racing season. You have lots and lots of sheets, so if you really get good mileage out of your automobiles game, you'll get good mileage out of this pack. So you can play a good number of seasons without even having to laminate. Welcome back to the unboxing of Destination Fun. Right here in front of me is the expansion pack for trains, Coastal Tides. I think this is the most expensive out of the 3 new expansions for the Destination Fun series. And it comes with a nice 4-page rulebook. And this is rich in color, and it tells you like the new Rock Bonus cards if you've never played with the Rising Sun set, as well as some of the new mechanics that get introduced with the new cards that get stuck in the randomizer. During setup, you take these VP cards and you put them with the rest of your VP stack, and you randomize three different victory point cards. These victory point cards, this one, if you immediately gain a waste for buying a card, at the end of the game, you gain one victory point for every 2 rivers in your network. In your terminal, when you buy the card, you immediately gain a waste. Waste cards are bad in trains, as well as the rare cards and the rare cubes and automobiles. They just come up your deck. However, they're unlike other deck builders, they're easy to remove from the game. Trains, you can just pass your turn and remove all the waste cards in your deck. And automobiles, there's many different ways you can get rid of rare cubes. But that's just going off of that. Just to quickly explain waste cards. In this one, you get one at the end of the game. You gain 1 victory point for every 4 train cards, which are these blue cards without the randomizer logo. I just have that. You have all the randomizer out just for the ease of entertainment.
I would have fun with modern if I could afford the land.
You get 1 card. You pretty much get 1 victory point for every 4 train cards in your deck.
See, that's why.
Here is the punch card for the rock markers for the rock bonus mechanic, which was introduced in Rising Sun, but it has been expanded, which has now been added to more maps since this came out after many of the promo maps came out for trains. And AEG has one of the best punch machines. Just saying. When I got the initial punch board, this card immediately dropped. And when I went to pick this up again, I accidentally punched the C token out when I picked this up off camera. So again, it's very easy. It's very neat. Here is the. Here's pretty much the main. The big part of the expansion. You get 3 new maps. Here is the 2-player sign. It looks to me they seem to be more river happy, and that's because of with one of the new victory point cards. But there's like a river here. There's mountains right here as this is Mount Fuji. And you can't actually build in Mount Fuji right here as it's completely blocked off with these danger token, danger tape.
We'll go somewhere else.
But yeah, this is a little bit more mountainous, and this one's a little bit more plains, but there's also a mountain ridge running from Okaro right here all the way over to the sea here. Sea you normally can't build rails in, but sea you can't really build in, but there's a new card in this pack that will allow you to build, and that's good because when we look at the other side, you can see that you're completely sea locked on the Okayama board. This is the 2 to 4 player board that you get with Coastal Tides. As you can see, there's a huge sea, and you normally can't build on sea, but there are new cards in this pack that allow you to build on sea hexes. But you have to play that card on your turn in order to build on a sea hex. So that is the 2 new player boards, the 3 new boards for this expansion. Here are the route bonus cards. Route bonuses were kind of like the tickets in Ticket to Ride, where you're given 2 cities and you have to try to connect them before the end of the game. However, unlike in Ticket to Ride, they're all open, so anyone can complete any of these cards. 2 or 4 of these cards come out during setup, and you try to connect them, like on the Okayama map. You try to connect Shobara to Kobe, and if you do that, you get 6 victory points at the end of the game. But immediately when you score, at any time during your turn, you can discard this card out of the game to gain one additional coin. And that's how route bonuses work. They are great sources of victory points, and they also give you a special one-time ability that no other player can have. And it comes with 50 route bonus cards, 15 of them for the 3 boards that come with the game, as well as boards as well as promo maps and other maps that did not have their own route bonus cards, but they were available for a long time on AEG's website before they totally revamped the Destination Fun website and kind of took off all the links for the route bonus cards. And quickly, just to go over, this comes with 6 new train cards. None of these. The maglev train is the easiest new train card to get. It costs 7 coins to get on your turn, but it gives you 4 coins every time you play the card, which is a good amount of money for as you're dealing with like 3 to 7 coins to purchase a card. There's also there's the new cheapest train, the novelty train, where it costs 2 coins, and you get in every novelty train you play on your turn, you get more points. If you just play one novelty train on your turn, you only get 1 coin, but if you play multiple on your turn, you can get a good amount of coins there. So there's the new train cards. Then there's 2 new rail building cards marked with green and the green rail symbol. And this one allows you to take care of the new seat hex problem on the 2 to 4 player map. Where until the end of your turn, you can play cubes onto the seat hexes for a base cost of 2. There's other ways that the cost can go up. And this one, in Scenic Route, you acts as another lay rails card. However, you gain 1 victory point for every time you lay a rail on your turn. Well, you actually gain 1 rail if you laid at least 1 rail on your turn. So those are the new rail cards. There are 4 new, and also the Sea Bridge, there are 20 copies of instead of 10. Then there are 4 new station cards. Which is the first time that we've seen any station cards since the initial set. And these allow you to put out station tokens, which are kind of like octagonal cylinders that can stand up. And so there's 4 new ways to do it. And they add special abilities. These do not replace none of these cards replace any of the cards that come standard. Finally, there's 7 new action cards. It allows you to do many different things. However, it does not expand upon the attack function introduced in Rising Sun. And they all just give you actions like Banker allows you to discard any number of cards in your hands. Like if you have waste cards, but if you still want to do something, you can just use the Banker to discard the waste out of your hand, and you still gain coins for each card you discard. So those are all the new cards for trains. Overall you can expect about 322 new cards in both the Coastal Tide standalone expansion and in the Destination Fun pack. And this is now the round trip expansion from Destination Fun. It doesn't come with all that much. It comes with 2 punch boards of materials, a pack of 60 cards. I'll briefly go over the cards, and a rulebook and a ticket to size ride board. So rulebook is just as good as any other trains or planes rulebook. It's pretty hefty, but it comes with scenarios for each of the 4 boards that have come out for this game so far, including the 2 that came out in the base game. It also comes with a 2-page spread of card clarifications, which is good because this game can get a little confusing, especially if you tend to AP over Man Club. And again, with with the other punch boards, you can expect a good clean punch. The planes are double-sided, probably because they add more ways to randomize the game or mix up the game a little bit. So, and the victory point tokens are single-sided, but as in that they have the same side on both sides, and they just count victory points. I think it would just be for like end game scoring for your gold cards. But yeah, just to quickly show you a planes card in the pack, you can play a card at the start of your turn. You can either play this card to either take an action, or at the end of your turn to score board state. Like this one allows you to draw 2 cards into your hand, and then you have to discard any 2 cards. Doesn't have to be. Well, yeah, it won't be. In this case, it wouldn't have to be the 2 cards that you drew unless you drew really bad cards. But you normally would do this if you want to get rid of some cards in your hand. And this one, in this goal, pretty much says, if any one space of this board, if there's at least one space on the board with nothing on it, with no cubes on it, you can play this card for 1 point at the end of the game. And that card does not get discarded as normal. It goes into your personal scoring area. So that's the card. And now for the planes board. This is much bigger than the original board. The original board is about probably not even this big. It's like a little bit smaller. But each board shows you how the cubes move around on the board. There's storage spots for cones, victory point tokens, and for drawing discard, but there's a variant where you don't need these 2 spaces that's been introduced in the main game. And you try to move cubes to try to get the board into your planes. However, how you move is just like a Mancla. If you pick up 5 cubes here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you also have to move from the space that you played. This one has different branching spots, and on the other side, just to quickly flip it over. Oh my! It has little it has sort of like teleporters where you go through and you have to either loop and you board a train, this tram, and you go to different concourses. So this one is definitely even more confusing to me than the Zephyr Airport, which was a literal figure 8 on the board. So different trains will take you to different stops. So, and that's pretty much the gist of the planes expansion. Not really much to talk about. It does add a lot more than what I really had to talk about. And finally, here is Automobiles, the racing season expansion. Comes with a very nice 12-page rulebook. I actually had to read through this rulebook just to get what's going on in here because it adds a lot. There's a good reason why this rulebook is 12 pages big. But yeah, it adds 3 new cards of the new for each of the 5 colors that can have their different abilities. There's 3 new engine, garage, performance, pet, and handling cards. They all have their own costs and their own ability for each cube. These are just stuck into their respective randomizer deck to add more variety to your game. There's also new recipes on the back of this rulebook if you want to try out the new expansion stuff on its own without getting a bad setup, or if you want to see how you can mix it in with the original stuff. So there are 15 cards, 3 of each of the 5 colors. Then here are the racers. You can either choose to play with special racer powers or not, and then stay in the game. In season, most likely you have to choose a racer so you can actually get a special ability and help keep track of who's who and what's what. So there's 10 racer cards. I don't know if it's picked or at random. And then here's the sponsor cards. You pick a sponsor at the start of a season, and they grant you special abilities. And I think they get better as you go on, or again, I'm not real too familiar with automobiles, so sorry if I mess up any rules from quick glance. But there's 6 different sponsors you can pick from, and yeah, they actually looks like they get better from each run. So you each pick a sponsor, and as you go, you upgrade your sponsor. There's 6 sponsors and three of each. And finally, there's a randomizer deck for racetracks. If you don't have a preference to track, or if you want to keep track of which races have been picked in the season, you can use these randomizer cards. There's 5 cards, 1 for each board that's been released up to this expansion. Here is the racing season pad. I made a mistake earlier in that each sheet is for each race of a season, so you're going to have to make sure that you keep track of if you're going to play multiple seasons at once in the same box, you're going to have to make sure that you refer back to the proper season. So just to throw that out there. Finally, let's just clear off these cards. Here are the 3 new boards for the expansion. Monte Carlo is a very twisty turning track. You will run into issues with trying to place yourself with cubes. So expect a lot of rear in this track. Tucson, however, is a smaller version of a bigger one. So it's a bit tighter, but it also introduces 3 color spots, so you can use a white, a light gray, or dark gray to get into these spaces here. You cannot use a black to get into these spaces right here. Finally, this is what a normal automobiles board would look like. Sorry if I'm out of frame, but here it's pretty much the race from Talladega, and yeah, looks like there's more lanes than than one of the original races in automobiles, and so yeah, that's pretty much it for this expansion. Adds a lot more complexity to the game if you really want more meat to your racing bag building game. And that's pretty much it for the contents of Destination Fun.